Hi, I'm Christina and this is going to be my reading wrap up for the month of July. So this month I've read a total of 7 books, which is the most books I've read in a single month for the entire year. So I'm really pleased with that. And I have some absolutely wonderful reads to talk about here. I have some new contenders for my favourite books of the year, so that's really exciting. So in terms of star ratings, I have 3 5-star reads, I have 2 3-star reads, and I have 2 2-star reads. And I've also read quite widely in terms of genre. So I have 2 science fiction books, I have 2 thrillers, I have 1 mystery, 1 historical fiction, and 1 fantasy. And I actually have book review videos for all of these books, so I will link those down below just in case you'd like to hear my more detailed thoughts on any of them. So I'm going to start with the books that I thought were a bit disappointing and I didn't like very much, and then work my way towards the books that I absolutely adored. So let's start with the 2-star reads. So the most disappointing book of the month for me was The Maidens by Michaelides, and this is in fact the most disappointing book of the entire year for me. And that's because I was really looking forward to reading this one, as I'd really enjoyed his debut novel, The Silent Patient. And this one, in comparison, is just a complete letdown. So this is a thriller, and we follow the main character of a therapist as she's trying to track down the identity of a serial killer. And I just found her as a main character very dull. I thought a lot of the characters felt very one-dimensional, and I just thought the whole story was just ridiculously unbelievable. I like my thrillers to have a little bit more realism, and yet this was just a complete disappointment and just not my cup of tea at all. So the other 2-star read is also a thriller. So both of the thrillers I read this month were a bit of a disappointment, which is a shame. And this one is The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard. So in this book, we follow a woman who has written a true crime novel about the serial killer who has murdered her family. And we also follow the serial killer as he reads her novel for the very first time. Now, I was initially enjoying this one, and I really did enjoy the book within a book aspect of it. You actually read the true crime novel as the serial killer reads it for the very first time. And I thought that was something new and innovative, and I really did enjoy that aspect of it. But then it just turned into a bit of a run-of-the-mill thriller, and it just kind of felt like any other thriller, and I thought the ending was a bit of a letdown. So ultimately I thought it was a bit disappointing, and yeah, just a 2-star read for me. I don't think it's going to be particularly memorable. So let's move on to the 3-star reads. I have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which is the prequel to The Hunger Games. And in this one, we follow the backstory of President Snow at the age of 18. So this is set 60 years before we first meet Katniss in The Hunger Games. And I enjoyed this one. It was a fun read. It was fun to be back in the world of The Hunger Games, and it was filled with nostalgia for me. And I just thought, it was good. I don't think it's anything particularly special. It's definitely not a new favourite, but I enjoyed my time with this one. It was good fun. So the other 3-star read I have is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This is a fantasy novel, and we follow a man who lives in a house with endless corridors and infinite rooms, and there is a lot of world building in here. Now, I think you should go into this book knowing as little as possible, because I think it's just going to be the most fun that way. This was a very enjoyable read for me, and it is unlike anything I have ever read before. This book is truly unique, and I had a really good time with this one. So now it's time to talk about my 5-star reads. I thought these books were absolutely wonderful, and they are all contenders for some of the best books I've read so far this year. So first up, I have The Vernacular Girls Are Gone by Felicity, McLean. This is a mystery set in Australia, and we follow the story of 3 girls who went missing 20 years ago. Now, this is a wonderful slow burn mystery. I was absolutely captivated by this story, and I was so emotionally connected to these girls. I absolutely flew through this book. It was so good, and I would highly recommend this one. Next up, I have Malibu Rising by Jenkins. Reid. This is a historical fiction novel set in Malibu. We follow 4 siblings on the day of their infamous party, and then we explore their family's past. I thought this was written so beautifully. I thought the characters in this were so well developed and they felt so real. It is a wonderful generational story, and I was absolutely captivated by these characters and this world, and I found it a very emotive read. It made me cry. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. So finally, I have my absolute favourite book of the month, which is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So this is my absolute favourite science fiction book of 2021 so far, and I think I will go so far as to say this is my favourite science fiction book of all time. I thought this was absolutely wonderful and it was such a fun read. So in this book, we follow an astronaut who is the sole survivor on his mission, and his mission is to save the Earth and to save humanity itself. So I thought this was just so much fun. It was so exciting. It felt so realistic. It felt like this could actually happen. And I was very much connected to the story and to these characters. I was completely captivated by the story. And it is such a funny book. There is so much humour packed into this, and yeah, I just had a really great time reading this. I still think about this book, and I think I'm going to be thinking about this book for months, if not years to come. It's definitely left an impression on me, and I'm very much looking forward to watching the film adaptation. So yeah, I thought this was absolutely brilliant, and I would highly recommend you read it. So these are all the books I read in the month of July. If there's any here that you've read, definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to chat to you about them. And if there's any here that you fancy reading now, definitely let me know that too. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more of me talking about books. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!